Samadhi means, literally, sama means equanimous, dhi means buddhi or the intellect. When your intellect becomes equanimous, when it loses the discriminatory dimension and just becomes perception, this is called samadhi. There are final stages which are not even ecstasy, which are absolute boundlessness. There is no joy, there is no ecstasy, there is no nothing, it's simply a complete state of boundlessness. And the ultimate samadhi is called Mahasamadhi, which some people are calling Jiva Samadhi, where a person actually sheds his body consciously. See, to walk out of this body consciously without damaging the body. If you have to leave this body, you will have to stab yourself, hang yourself, poison yourself, something, you must damage the body and make it unsuitable for life, isn't it? But now sitting here, you just walk out of your body like you drop your clothes, like that you walk out of your body. If this has to happen, a certain amount of mastery and a certain amount of, vision and perception has to be there. So, many yogis in India have left like this, even today it is so. Among ourselves, certain people have left like this. Young people, they decided to leave and they left. Because they had certain mastery, they had completed all the process of life within themselves, so they decided to leave. The body was still young, they could have lived on. Right now, among us, there are many people that if we let them progress, they will leave because they've completed everything that they have to do. Their life is completely fulfilled, they will leave the physical body. So usually, we peg them down on the last step so that the physical body also runs its full cycle. Such people are useful to the world. So I am always pegging them down on the final step so that they will… little bit of slavery, let them serve the world a little bit because they have a different sense of understanding and experience, they're useful people. If we let them go, they will go. This also needs to be understood. For most human beings, their moment of enlightenment and moment of leaving the body are same. Once your energies hit a certain peak, then this physical body cannot contain it anymore, it has to release it. These are the two things you need to understand. If the energies become feeble, then also physical body cannot hold it. This is what old age and death is. Slowly as your life progresses, as old age comes, your life energies are becoming feeble, the vibrance of the energy is becoming feeble. If this drops below a certain level, that person will leave the body. Because physical body, if it has to hold it, it needs a certain level of vibrance, otherwise it cannot hold it. This is old age and death. Another way is, you pushed your energies beyond a certain intensity. Beyond that also the body cannot, physical cannot hold it, so it leaves. So when people consciously raise the pitch of their energies and leave the body, we call it Jiva Samadhi or Mahasamadhi, it's conscious. He fixes a time and date and at that particular moment he works towards it and he leaves. It's the best way to leave the body. If one can do their death also consciously and gracefully, is it not wonderful? Isn't it the best way to do it? That's the best way to do it. What time he chooses is up to him. People who do not have this understanding or experience, suppose I decide to live at 60, people will think, oh, why, this is suicide, this is murder, this is nonsense. It is not so. You will never be satisfied. There was a yogi in South India whom I knew right from very early age. I met him in a strange way. His name was Nirmalananda. He lived in certain mountains in South India. I used to trek in these mountains a lot. So, one of these, I'm alone usually when I trekked. I just take my motorcycle inside, park in the forest. I just live in the forest for a week or 10 days, depending upon how much food I have. After I run out of food, I come back. So, this is rainy season and I've just been in the forest for over 5 days and I've run out of food and I'm all slush because I slept in the forest and it's been raining. Indian monsoons are like, they'll continuously pour for 5 days, 6 days, non-stop rain. So wherever you sit or stand, it's black mud. So I'm fully drenched in this and I came on my motorcycle. This is a little ashram, just a 4-acre ashram he's got. So I came, he's got many steps, he's got a little temple and a small place. At that time I don't get off my motorcycle, I ride up the staircases. So I just ride up and go right there. You're not supposed to wear your shoes there and go, but I ride right through and park it next to his thing and I go and stand there. I want food. I'm hungry for 24 hours, I've not eaten. So this is at that time he's over 60, like that, 60 or 60 over. He is hugely respected by everybody, he lives alone. He's been in silence for 14 years, he has not spoken to anybody. He just saw me and he came and touched my feet, all my mucky shoes and everything. I am somebody who is, right from the age of 5, I have not even entered a temple in my life. I refuse to bow down to any god or any human being or whatever. I won't. Unless they explain what it's what, I am not willing to bow down to anything. I have not even bowed down in front of any temple or god, I have never prayed in my life. I just live the way I want. So here this man who's considered to be a great sage and is, I'm just at that time 18, 19 years of age, and this old man comes and touches my feet. Sort of little disturbed me. But I'm not the kind to get disturbed. I brushed it aside and said, I need food. Because there's no other place there, I'll have to ride another 2 hours before I get anything to eat because this place is so isolated. So he took me inside and he, himself tried to unlace my shoes. I said, don't want, and I left my shoes outside and went in. He used to bake his own bread, gave me bread, all this. So after that I started visiting him, not for spiritual reasons, just like that. Whenever I go, I just meet him. He was living so meagerly, so I would take something and give it to him whenever I went. I took something, some fruits or honey or whatever is available there. So this relationship was off and on. Whenever I trekked in the mountains, I see him. Now, much later, then I didn't go there. Then things happened to me in a big way within myself and everything changed, and almost after 17, 18 or maybe almost 20 years later, I go one day. Now my appearance has changed, everything about me has changed, almost 20 years later. So I went and he didn't recognize me initially. Then I asked him, do you recognize who I am? He looked at me like this and he was still not speaking, he was still on silence. He said, you? He said, oh, you're the motorcycle guy he's telling me. I said, yes. And then, he really was very happy I went, many things happened. A few years I kept in touch with him after this. Then at the age of 74 or 74, he decided to leave his body. So he said, I want to leave my body like this. I want to die as a yogi, not as a rogi. That means I want to die as a yogi, not as a sick man. I don't want to get sick and die, I want to die with dignity. I said, fine, what's the problem, you leave. He's more an intellectually realized person, not energy-wise, there's no sadhana. So then he sat with me, he wept and he said, you must tell me how to live. I'm struggling with this. He also built his own grave and everything, got everything ready, but he was having struggles as to how to live. Then I had to teach him some simple methods, what he needs to do to leave the body, how he needs to prepare and all those things. Then he decided to leave and he announced to all his people, He never left this 4-acre ashram for almost 27, 28 years. He just stayed within that. But he wrote letters to people worldwide. People from all over the world visited him. Every day he wrote over 120 to 130 letters. He just wrote letters to people everywhere in the world, so based on that people used to come. So he announced to all his people that he is going to leave. When this started happening, the local rationalist association, in India these rationalist associations are there. They are virulent, they believe they're revolutionaries. So they said, this man is… old man is going to commit suicide, we must stop it. Then I went to meet him and there were 2 policemen in the ashram. So I went there, he broke down and cried, see, they put police in my ashram. He is that kind of man, to do his daily worship, he won't even pluck the flowers from the trees. It has to fall down, only then he'll pick it up. He will never pluck a flower or a fruit from the tree. Only after it falls down, he will eat it, only after it falls down, he takes the flowers. He lived so gently. And now they put 2 police people there just to see that he doesn't commit suicide. So it really hurt him. He said, see, they put police in the ashram, they think I'm going to commit suicide. And I said, don't bother, you do what you have to do. Let them be, it'll be a good thing. Under observation if you leave your body, you know. And I spent last things a little bit, he spent some time with me because I guided him through a few things. And the last letter, after the thousands and thousands of letters he wrote one letter to me saying, this is the final letter I'm writing in my life and this is to you, and something thanking me for this and that. And about 50 people were sitting, he sat in a cross-leg posture in front of the police, he left his body. So, this is conscious way of leaving the body. This is the best way to do it. If you do this, that is really the end. Normally when people die, you say they are no more, but that's not true. They are no more the way you know them, that's all. If you leave your body like this consciously, you are truly no more, the game is up. It's a full cycle. Everything is back where it should be.